Every week, we give out our picks every week. Your fellow professional bettor, Simon, call to critique, give us positive affirmation, negative feedback, whatever the case. It's time to summarize those opinions. Let's do sharp calls.
I have to answer this phone.
Once again, we'll start with the Thursday game. I knew it. I knew that the Los Angeles side was the super public side. I just did not see the love by the professionals, and they're coming on the Seahawks side. So this is my favorite. These guys think they're professionals, but they're actually frauds type of game where they're, yeah, we know what we're doing, taking Seattle here. This is a fishy line, and we're hammered in. I'm happy with it. I'm getting the Rams as a dog now, and I'll be with the public. I'll walk into the trap if this is one. And, yeah, this is a game I don't know if we're going to talk more about, but tons of love to the pros on the Seahawks, and I just do not see what they're seeing. But these games happen, right? It's divisional games. It's really tough to beat your divisional opponent 2 times in a row. So I get their love for Seattle. I think the hype is way too much for backing Sam Darnold in this spot. But that was the first game that really jumped out. The Saturday games, I thought it was going to be all love for Green Bay. Tons of really respected guys I know on the Bears, and they flipped me. I'm actually on the Bears side now, where I wanted to get there. I didn't want to be on Green Bay. I just felt like there was something I'm missing. But that was a really interesting game, and obviously that Commanders game. Tons of love for Washington. And we knew that was going to be a pros versus Joes. And probably keep hammering this Eagles side, and that number is not budging. I was hoping we were going to get 7. But like I just said, the professionals, they really like Washington. So that number is going to hold there. And moving to the Sunday games, not as much love I was hoping for my Giants love. I do have some pros with me on that Giants side. It's just not as locked in. Like, say that Washington game is, where it's just all professionals on that one side. Tennessee, a game I'm just not seeing. Tons of pros love that. The number has fallen. So maybe I can lie to myself and say, well, we already missed the best of the number. Let's not bet it anyway.
I got some thoughts.
Okay. I'm not there. You were right about Dallas. The pros love Dallas. Another game I think I had blind spot to, and been talking to a little bit. It's just, I can't believe it. There are good trends and numbers, underlying numbers for Dallas here in this spot, but I still can't believe they want to fade Herbert. I mean, this is 3 straight weeks of fading this guy's a dog. So very unique spot. And, a game we talked a little bit about, I kind of love Pittsburgh. Every pro I've talked to is all over the line. So I understand now why that line's been bet up so heavily. It feels like every pro I know is on that side. On the flip side, most public people I've talked to, it feels like they're on the Pittsburgh side. Yeah. So that's going to be a really unique one. And, the final 2 games we talked about, we both love New England. Every pro I've talked to, for the most part, loves it. There are some pros on the Ravens, right? This is a unique spot of a team that's been there before in the Ravens, with a veteran quarterback facing a team that has not been there before and that just blew a 21-point lead. So I get it. Maybe I'm leaking a little bit on the Patriots, but I still think the number is inflated and the Ravens are an overrated team. And the last one, we talked a little bit about it. We like the 49ers. All the pros I've talked to, for the most part, like the Colts, but honestly, even if we're walking to a trap there, Chad, I still think it's a good spot for this 49ers team. I don't know how the Colts offense keeps up with this 49ers offense, which is just fully healthy right now. And they're a machine. When they got all their guys back, you see with Purdy, they're just unstoppable. So really fun games to break down this weekend. A lot of primetime games to talk about. It wasn't so much the 1 p.m.s or 4 p.m.s. It was really felt like all the primetime games the pros are hitting. So really fun week.
All right, let's get into it. Let's start to break them down. Washington at Philadelphia. We talked about this on Tuesday. Saturday night, 6.5-point underdogs. The Washington Commanders are going to be our Brass Balls Bet of the Week, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
You know what it takes? It takes brass balls.
Look, I'm kind of taking your lead on this because you know the Eagles as well as anybody, and you were leaning Commanders on Tuesday. And when we talked about it before we came on the show, I presented 3 games that I thought could be brass balls contenders, and the only one that we felt really comfortable with was Washington. Lane Johnson's still out. I think that matters. The Commanders have just been better with Marcus Mariota, which we've been saying for the past few weeks. Jalen Carter will still be out. I think that impacts how the Eagles can defend against a mobile quarterback. And talk about wanting to be in a spot where you're fading a team. We want to fade the team that just blew somebody out. And all of a sudden people think the Eagles are fixed when we're not quite convinced the Eagles are fixed. So at 6.5, this just feels a little bit inflated. As you noted in Sharp Calls, wise guys are on this one as well. The real wise guys, not the fake wise guys.
It's true, though. It feels like an inflated line. I had this model at 4, and it's not shocking, though. If I was the general public and didn't have a model or know much about it, why wouldn't I bet the Eagles here, right? They looked incredible. They looked like they got things right. And we've talked about it. They're a team that if they can figure out that offense, why would they not be the number 2 or number 3 best team in the NFC? So this is obviously 2 teams that are going totally different directions. The Commanders, like we've said, they're shut down their star quarterback. You know, how motivated would they be? Blah, blah, blah. I think that's why the public is just coming in so heavier. I don't know about you, but most books I've looked at or talked to, it's like 80% to 90% of all the money, all the bets are coming on this Eagles team.
Yeah, that's why it's so surprising to me it hasn't moved to 7. That's clearly sort of resistance coming from the professionals.
Yeah, it could be part of it. It's also, I think the books too are just like they're like what we're thinking here is just who are the Eagles to be catching 7 against a divisional opponent like this? Where
who are the Super Bowl champions to be catching 7? But I get it, like they haven't looked like the Super Bowl champions at all.
No, it's like they haven't had a horrible season like the Chiefs have had, but it's been close to it. Like it could have fallen apart at a bunch of different spots here. So this is just a bet for the Eagles to prove it to me, right? And we always talk about the numbers with Hurts. There's some real numbers here to fade Hurts, especially when it comes to this late in the season in December. He is great usually against the spread to start the year, but then the public keeps betting him, falling more in love with him, and the number goes too far. And we've seen that now through his early career because the Eagles, obviously, every year he's been a starter, he's made the playoffs, right? And he's kind of been in that spot where, not the last 2 years, or not last year, but the year before, they totally fell off. So that's why these numbers are skewed a little bit, his December's numbers, but these ones just popped out to me. So December or later Hurts, 5-7 against the spread. When he faces the NFC East, he is 1-5 in his career in the month of December against the spread. So we talked about it. He just gets inflated in our division. I mean, Eagles division, historically, it's kind of been a bottom feeding division, right? There are usually 2 teams really good and the other 2 are just absolutely terrible. And it's been like that for his whole career, these last 4 or 5 years for Hurts. So even against bad teams in his division in December, he's struggled. It's been very bizarre. And another stat I really loved was the Eagles were a double-digit favorite last week. Hurts, for some reason, he's horrible at games following being a double-digit favorite. So when he's a double-digit favorite, Hurts, he's 3-6 against the spread in this following game. It just shows they usually blow teams out, live up to it, and then the following game they have a letdown game. So I've seen that time and time again. And on the flip side, Dan Quinn, give him a ton of grief. I just don't think he's that good of a head coach. But as a dog, he's been great, especially at covering 7-4 against the spread in this exact spot, 3-1 in his own division. So, we like Dan Quinn. We like the numbers when he's back in his own division as a dog. It's just when he's a favorite, I really couldn't get over how much overrated he was. So we knew Washington was coming back down to earth this year. It felt like they have, but it feel like the public has totally left them for dead.
Yes.
And happened last week. They were hammering the Giants team. Like you just said, that number didn't budge last week. It's happening once again. The public is hammering the opposite side of the Commanders side, and it's not budged. So for both of us, I think we'd feel much better. We wake up Saturday and this number's 5.5 because it's like, okay, at least some real professional money's coming and we both have the best number. But even this gets this 7. I'm still going to back this Washington team come Saturday.